Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Muskingum Valley League Championship matches. Kevin Rao, along with that's the coach, Doug Clifford, and gosh, seems like we were just together.
Well, you know, I
pretty
think
good
I had
basketball
the same
game last
clothes
night.
on. Yeah.
We had a good one, but we've got wrestling now, and we're going to get going right away in the 106-pound weight class. It'll be Alexander Krane of Sheridan and Sky Wise Carver of Tri-Valley, and they are at it. We got a couple of officials. We were 3 mats wide during the preliminaries today, and now we're reduced to the center mat. We'll bring you all the action with 3 cameras today. And in fact, Don Mason, who's refereeing, one of the referees in this first match, will join us from time to time with some expertise. And we'll start with the lightest division, 106 pounds. Again, it's Alexander Krane is in the gray from Sheridan. Sky Wise Carver from Tri-Valley in the black and gold.
There are no athletes in any sport, I don't think, that are more disciplined and more dedicated to their sport than wrestlers. I mean, this is one-on-one competition. There's no one to help you. There's no coach to give you the signals. I mean,
there's no judge to say how well you did. You win it all on your own.
That's right.
And it is some of the toughest conditioning. Those that have wrestled know. And you're not out there for a long time in any given match necessarily, but it is full go the whole time.
It's exhausting. You wrestle for 6 minutes and you are exhausted. I don't care what.
And where we have a stalemate called, so they will both start in the up position once again. Again, sometimes they just get to a spot where neither one can make any headway, and the referees will set them back up. But again, and there's a first opportunity, really, but both. And the other thing you see in the lighter weight classes is how quick they are back to their feet. So it's a little tougher. And when they both get outside the circle as there, they'll start back in the middle. 19.4 seconds remaining in this first period of our first of 14 matches. Championship Saturday here with the Muskingum Valley League. We're at West Muskingum High School. Great host, glad to be here. Down to 5 seconds. And we're going to end the first period. A little bit of a flurry, but no points scored. So we're glad that you are with us today. We're going to take quick breaks between matches, but this goes very quickly, Coach. These guys, they don't mess around once they get on the mat.
Krane going to take the down position here. Wise Carver on top.
And this is sometimes where you'll see that quick escape. The guy on top, a little bit of a disadvantage. Actually, most folks want to start in the down spot. And we're waiting our first points. And again, spinning around. Nobody's got control yet.
He's good. Wise Carver has to keep that arm. Oh, there it is.
And counting on the near fall. Nice move by Sky Wise Carver. Arching his back is Krane, trying to avoid the pin. Minute and a half to go in this second period.
Well, Krane has a bridge built, that's for sure.
Krane, that's where he's trying to be strong, and he'll work his way out of difficulty, but 3 points
he's going to get a reversal.
And then a reversal. So just like that, it's a 3-2 match. Things can change on a dime, and now Krane in the better position, but still trailing by a point after the 3-point near fall granted to Sky Wise Carver.
You know, I would imagine 9 times out of 10 during the regular season, the move that Wise Carver made on Krane to get the 3 points, that would have resulted in a pin. But when you're against the best,
they can hold out.
They can hold out, you bet.
Again, trying to get, you can see the official right there, making sure that, and now we'll have a near fall count on this side with 25 seconds. We'll wait to see how many points are awarded. See the official getting right down in there to check the shoulder blades.
Crane's putting the pressure on.
12 seconds. Can he get it done?
That could be it right there.
Sheridan comes into this match leading in team points.
Oh, great job by Carver to get out of that spot.
And that will end the period. Carver in a predicament, but he holds out. 3 points awarded on the near fall to make it 5-3 in favor of Sheridan's Alexander Krane. And we'll put the final 2 minutes, or at least in regulation, the last 2 minutes of this third period. And both will start up. Yeah, we're in the first match of the day here at West Muskingum. The 2019 edition of the MVL tournament. And they'll go, and they're going to give 2 points.
They are.
And the officials conferred it was that close. And we've got a 5-5 match with
Crane's
a minute 41.
upset. Yeah, Crane's upset with that call. He's going to come out. He comes out firing.
He wants to escape to get the point, or reverse it if he can. Actually, it wouldn't be a reversal because they started up and we don't really have a takedown yet.
Well, he started down.
Yeah, so.
There
Thought he might have the reversal there.
Carver has his leg. Can't make that sit out move.
And again, both officials right on top of the action. A minute, 5 points each on the board. So we're within the last minute of this championship match. That's what these kids have worked hard for all year.
Crane's trying to rip that leg off. That leg up from around his waist. That thing's controlling him right now.
And
you gotta work out.
He's so close to getting out of it. But Carver holding on.
Get that cross face in there, you bet.
But he can't quite get it to reversal. So close as they go back and forth. Does he? He does.
Yes.
There's the reversal.
There's a reversal with only 10 seconds to go in the match.
Krane. Those are the final
What
2 points of the match. If so, he will be the champion at 106. And he's holding on, and that will do it.
Great move.
It was the reversal at the very end of the third period. Alexander Krane adds to the Sheridan team point lead. And what an incredible match to start things out. Hey, we'll take a quick break. We'll have the next match for you in just a moment. Welcome back to the MVL Championship matches. We move on after an exciting match at 106. We go to the 113-pound match. Blake Sheppard from New Lexington taking on Michael Eckelberry from Sheridan. And right away, Sheppard with the takedown. As they edge toward the periphery of the ring.
I attended the Sheridan New Lexington dual match at New Lexington High School, and Sheridan had their way with the Panthers.
Well, Blake Sheppard's going to try to change that around right here. He got the early takedown, and he's now trying to turn him. But Eckelberry, tell you, when you lose contact, you give the other wrestler a chance to reverse, and instead they'll go off the mat, or out of the circle, that is, still on the mat. And it will be Sheppard in the up position for New Lexington. New Lexington came in third. So really the top three that have a chance to win the team title, Sheridan, Tri-Valley, and New Lexington in that order. And Sheridan got the match, or won the match in the 106 that we just did. And we do have the escape given to Sheppard. He gets it within a point. Inside a minute to go now in the first period. 2-1 Sheppard, and they'll go off the edge as Sheppard again tried to get the takedown.
Boy, he had the leg.
And the coaches sit same side of the mat in either corner. And I guess, is there a corner and a round and circle? Maybe not. But in the mat there are corners, and that's where they are. Yelling out instructions when they can, and there's Sheppard shooting again. And he's got to get him to the mat inside, and instead it'll go outside the circle.
It was a great job, Eckelberry, that time. Sheppard had the leg, but he countered with that arm across there and didn't let Sheppard get the control.
These fellas both in the 113 pound, but you still see how strong they are. Smaller does not mean weak, and there's another takedown for Sheppard. Puts him up 4-1 as time begins to run out. We've got a near fall situation now, and he will get 2 points on that near fall and take a 6-1 lead. They'll put 2 minutes on the clock for the second period. And he will have the choice, and he will start down, will Blake Sheppard.
5-point lead for Sheppard, 2 minutes to go.
A couple of pins got Sheppard into the championship match. And he's trying to push his way out. Actually trying to get the reversal if he can, and he does. 2 more points now, an 8-1 lead. And then he'll try to give himself some position here to force the action to Eckelberry's back. And he spins him, but Eckelberry able to get up and out, and that'll be an escape. 8-2. There are some wrestlers are good enough, they'll allow folks to get back up and take him down again. I don't think that was the case that time.
No, not at all.
There's another takedown for Sheppard. 1:10 to go in this second period of the scheduled 3. Sheppard trying to find some leverage.
Taking a look at that clock. He knows he's got an 8-point lead.
Yeah, you don't want to do anything silly where you get reversed onto your back.
That's right.
That's the big fear. That you just get a little loose with it. And you see how he uses his head to keep leverage.
Just to show the referees enough effort to show he's still working.
They're not stalling, yeah, exactly.
There it goes, there it goes.
And does he get his blade in the match? They're counting off the near fall. It's close, very close, and that's it.
Yes.
The pin for Blake Sheppard and his new Lexington Panther team. Great effort by Michael Eckelberry. Good match again. Again, that's in the 113 class. So after Sheridan takes the first match of the day, New Lex comes right back to get match 2. We'll keep it right here as we get ready for our next match. You see we're just turning the brackets as we go to 120, and I'm joined now by one of the officials here today, but more important, my partner from last year, Don Mason. And Don, good action so far in this one.
Well, this is going to be really interesting coming up here. This is probably, I know, the first time in MVL history that we had a female wrestler wrestling for the championships of the MVL.
That's,
stay tuned here.
That's Layla Castro from New Lexington taking on Braden Rittenhouse. Layla Castro got here with a pin and then an 8-3 decision. Rittenhouse had a bye into his first match and then won the next one 10-4. Castro, no points yet awarded. But there will be the takedown.
There it is.
Good leverage from Rittenhouse. In what is, as Don Mason just pointed out, a historic match. So 2-0. Now, we were talking about that before, and it's certainly not the case yet, but what do you look for in terms of when somebody gets a lead that they're not stalling? And again, that's not the case here, but.
Well, what you look for is them sitting too far back on the hips and not getting what we call perpendicular, so at a 90-degree angle from the side, and staying, again, what we call hip to hip. But you're right, there's been good action so far. Referees are doing a great job calling it so far. Both are state tournament officials. As a matter of fact, all 4 of us are state tournament officials, so it should be good officiating.
Again, that's as it should be for these championships. Layla Castro down 2-0 for Braden Rittenhouse from West Muskingum. Got an early takedown. He's now trying to find some leverage to turn her onto her back, but she's not cooperating with that coach.
No.
She is battling.
She's not. She just about, I thought, had a move to get out, but Rittenhouse is tough. I mean, he's
now in terms of her
long wrestlers. I mean,
yeah, exactly. In terms of her headgear, all permissible, obviously.
Yes, what we do with male or female wrestlers, if their hair goes beyond the earlobes and the collar on the back of the neck, they have to wear, and I'll just call it a hair net. It's a specified net for athletic competition, and it keeps the hair from basically getting down below their ear pads here or their foreheads, and it's required across the country.
That's the end of the first period. Only points coming on a early takedown. Braden Rittenhouse. West Muskingum leads it 2-0 over Layla Castro of New Lexington. And Castro got here with 2 wins. A pin early on, and then in the second round, an 8-3 win. You can tell Rittenhouse being cautious as he tries to get leverage underneath. I think coaches like football. You get lower. When you're for the lower person, I think that's the helpful part.
Two different styles of body. I tell you, have Castro, who's at low center of gravity, and then you have Rittenhouse, that long wrestler. I hated to wrestle guys that were long like that because they could get so much leverage on you.
Yeah.
This is one of her favorite scoring moves. She does a really nice job pressing the opponent to the mat. Well, she wasn't successful this time, and Rittenhouse scored.
He really waited for his opportunity there, was very
did.
patient. And he'll get another takedown credited 4-0. A minute now to go in this second period as she tries to move his arms, not allowing him to
Well, she had
take
no
control.
success from this position in the first period. I mean, he controlled her completely.
And again, he does that. She's trying to find any way to get out of this predicament. Trailing 4-0. He's trying to find another way perhaps to move her to her back. But she has been pretty stubborn about that. Again, using her hips well to keep position. And what do you look for in terms of then being able to lock, or what the wrestler on top, what does he have to avoid doing so to avoid a penalty?
Well, to avoid, let me say this, to avoid being reversed, he's got to watch his body weight. But in order to avoid like a stalling penalty, he has to do what he's been doing, and that is stay engaged with the upper body of the other wrestler.
We'll talk about what you can do with your hands too, about locking, or what exactly you can do to kind of keep your position.
Well, when you're in control, a lot of times what you try to do is control the wrist of your opponent. We call it hand control, it's wrist control, same thing. By controlling the wrist, you really limit their ability to control you. And in this case, the Rittenhouse was able to actually, as an underneath wrestler, control the hands. He's not escaped yet. Well, he just now got the escape, yes.
Okay, so there is the point for the escape. And Rittenhouse now with a 5-0 lead, a minute and a half to go. And there's that stalemate again idea. How long do you wait to call that?
It's really, and nothing's really a judgment, but when you see both wrestlers cannot advance their hold, then at that point you stop it right away.
So both wrestlers now in the up position. Rittenhouse with the 5-0 lead. But whatever happens in this match, I think folks will remember Layla Castro.
That's what I was saying. She does a nice job trying to press down and step behind the other wrestler. She almost did it there, but going back to an earlier point made by Coach, the West Muskingum wrestler is very tall and lanky, and so she's at a bit of a disadvantage in that move, but we'll see. I'm sure she'll try it and probably be successful at some point here.
Now, when you train like that, do you train differently depending on what your opponent, what his or her frame is like?
Absolutely, and what's nice in a wrestling room is to have a shorter guy who's stronger than you and a taller wrestler also, because that way you can have the different styles that you can practice against.
See another stalemate there. So both wrestlers in the up position. 40 seconds to go in this third period. Rittenhouse with the 5-0 lead. So he's basically trying to be careful, Coach. We talked about it before, not to get in a position.
He's staying aggressive, though.
In a position to perhaps get the takedown.
I like that. I mean, he
Not,
just didn't run around. I mean, he went for the takedown.
Nope. And no call that time.
Rittenhouse was unable to get his body weight behind the new Lex wrestler. His weight was too far out in front, and so it didn't look like it was going to be improved, so that's why the official stopped.
Again, and so 2 points for Layla Castro there. Maybe a little too late, but again, what a presence she had in this match. It'll be Rittenhouse the winner, 5-2. Give him credit. He is the champion. But again, historic match with Layla Castro. Both wrestlers get a nice hand. And we will take a quick break before the next match. You're watching the MVL Championships on WHIZ TV. We get ready for the 126 match with Joseph Eckelberry from Tri-Valley and Devin Factor from Sheridan. Again, both these teams battling for the team championship as well. Sheridan came into the finals in the first place spot, Tri-Valley in the second place spot. Again, we're joined, Coach and I, we're joined by Don Mason, former state qualifier for the Zanesville Blue Devils and wrestled at Muskingum College, and now one of the top referees in the state of Ohio. You'll be working more. We'll get to see you on camera both ways. This is awesome, by the way. So early on here, what are these wrestlers? These guys have wrestled against each other, I'm sure, many times, but what are they trying to establish here early?
Well, it looks like at first here Sheridan in red was trying a fireman's carry. The Tri-Valley wrestler was able to get his body weight pushed back. That's why you see the Sheridan's wrestlers head down on the mat. Of course, the referee just blew it as a stalemate.
Is it good to have wrestled somebody a lot of times? Do you go back and try to figure out new ways to approach it?
Yeah, the dilemma you have is if you've beaten a wrestler, then you tend to want to go back to things that you did well that allowed you to score. Likewise, if you've lost a wrestler, you want to change your style and try something new. So the bottom line is by the time you've wrestled a guy 3-4 times, you've got to try new moves. The same old stuff is not going to work. Now, I like the way the Sheridan wrestler's keeping his body weight just a tad lower. You saw him almost penetrate there.
There's something about athletics generally. If you can stay lower than your opponent in most things, blocking in football,
yeah.
defense in basketball, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And again, Devin Factor is the wrestler for Sheridan, Joseph Eckelberry for Tri-Valley. No points scored yet as we wind things down in this first period. And
so what he's saying here, what the referee is saying here is the green wrestler, Tri-Valley, wasn't trying to get behind Sheridan. He was staying out front. He was checking and blocking. And what we tell you is we want you to go 180. If you're out in front, we want you to try to get behind.
So is that in essence a warning to him?
The first one's a warning, but thereafter it's penalty points.
So on the flip, Sheridan gets the flip and elects to go to the down position. Devin Factor, Joseph Eckelberry on top for Tri-Valley.
Now the long-term strategy is if you're at 0-0 in the first period, there's a possibility you might end up basically tied going into overtime at the end of the match. So one of the criteria further on into overtime is who's the first to score. So a lot of times if you're underneath first, you're the first to score. But I've got to tell you, Tri-Valley's doing a nice job here. He was trying to roll Sheridan.
So what's the percentage of times where if you win that flip, you take the down position?
Actually, normally people will defer
okay.
they can. But again, if you're controlling another wrestler, a lot of times you're going to give him the option. But in a tight match, you're going to try in that second period a lot of times to start down.
There's the flip. Can you get position?
Yep, there we go.
Counting off the near fall.
Yeah. Now you can lock on the head like that as long as the wrestler is in criteria for a near fall.
Okay.
Normally you cannot lock on around the head like that.
Boy, it was close there as he went from shoulder blade to shoulder blade.
Yeah.
See the official right down in there. We're giving you some great camera views, and there's the pin.
Back to work.
Well, hey, we'll be watching you. Thanks, Tom. So the pin goes the way of the Tri-Valley wrestler, Joseph Eckelberry. Devin Factor will finish as the runner-up in these championships. And we will go right on to our next match. And Sean Pletcher for Philo. And Garrett Ladderbaugh for Crooksville. We say that right? Crooksville native?
I believe we did.
All right. And again, we'll have a little height difference here.
This is the only Crooksville wrestler in the finals.
When you were football coach down there, you try to get your guys to wrestle? Was that a good thing?
You know, I was in favor of the kids playing anything they wanted.
Yeah.
You know, if they wanted to wrestle, great. If they wanted to play basketball, that was fine. I mean, we didn't have enough kids at Crooksville that we could specialize. Our kids had to play every sport.
And there's something about, especially linemen. I know when I was growing up, that was the thing. If you're a lineman, they'd like you to wrestle just so you understood leverage better and body position. They said that about me till they saw me wrestle, and that ended that.
Well,
so 2 points goes to Sean Pletcher.
I think our most honored wrestler was Jeremy White. He was our nose man, and in the Crooksville defensive scheme, the nose man may have been the most important player on the field. So it didn't seem to bother Jeremy's ability to play football.
So we now have the escape granted to Louderbaugh. So he trails at 2-1. Both wrestlers up. Let's see. And there's control there for Pletcher again on the takedown. Jumps out to a 4-1 lead halfway through this first period. And he's gonna let him up. So the escape goes. But you notice how he did it, Coach. He let him up.
Oh, yeah.
I'd say that's gingerly.
Yeah.
Didn't want to lose control
he
of
didn't really trust him, you know. I
Yeah.
mean, he knows that one mistake, the guy's going to shoot on him.
And I think that's you obviously trying to keep him from immediately going after your legs. So 4-2, 2 takedowns for Pletcher, 2 escapes for Louderbaugh. And there's another takedown. 6-2, Pletcher, the shorter wrestler. But he appears pretty confident. His ability to take down Louderbaugh has let him escape a couple of times. Then not going to do that this time as time runs down in this first period. So 6-2, Pletcher leads it. Glad that you joined us today on WHIZ TV. Coach and I usually doing football and basketball, but glad to bring you wrestling.
Oh, you bet. This is a great sport, league championship.
Yeah, anytime you have a league championship and right away allowing Louderbaugh to escape, Pletcher's lead is 6-3 now. Great. I mean, this place is packed at West Muskingum.
It's a good crowd.
And they've been here all day. This started much earlier today. We had the luxury of doing the finals, but they've been doing this all day. West Muskingum, a great job hosting this event.
Oh, nice move by Fletcher.
He's pretty quick underneath, and he gets the takedown. He's going to let Louderbaugh back up. So it's 8-4, 4 takedowns, 4 escapes. Again, Pletcher pretty confident in his ability to do this. He has a major decision, 16-6 in his first match, won the next one 11-7. Louderbaugh got here with a couple of pins. So he's been successful, but Pletcher looks to be a little stronger here in this final match.
I thought so too.
Although
there's
now Louderbaugh, where that's one of those dangerous moves. Fortunately for Pletcher, it was outside the circle. So 54.7 seconds to go, second period. Pletcher up, leads it, and he'll allow Louderbaugh to escape, make it 10-5. My guess is these two guys have gone at it a couple of times before.
You know, I would think.
And there's another takedown.
If you've wrestled through the years, I'm sure these guys in the finals have seen each other more than once.
Well, and it goes back. I mean, there's great middle school wrestling in the MVL. So my guess is it started there.
Yep.
And then, like you said, a lot of these schools, you're going to see them in other venues as well, whether it's football or baseball or track. And we've got a near fall. Nope, didn't earn the points. And we're going to get, no, they are going to award 2 points for the near fall, but avoiding a dangerous hold there, so 14-6. Sean Pletcher of Philo in the lead over Garrett Louderbaugh from Crooksville. 10 seconds in the second period. Pletcher trying to break down the left arm, give himself some better position, and that will be the end of the period. It'll go to a third period. And it will be Pletcher down, Louderbaugh on top. And sitting out and actually reversing.
Well, that did not take long at all.
Very quick, Sean Pletcher.
Pletcher is extremely quick. I mean, that he made that move. I don't think Louderbaugh had a chance to stop him on that move.
And then he'll allow him to escape. Again, keeping control of the head so he doesn't shoot the leg right away. So he tries to there, but again, Pletcher just able to stay underneath him so far. And again, Pletcher gets his body behind and will earn the takedown. And then we'll allow the escape. Trying to get the major decision. If you can't get the pin, that's next best thing in terms of team points.
Another nice spin move to get around.
Takedown, so it's 20-7. Halfway through this third period, 1 minute to go. Pletcher just kind of cruising along at this point. Again, he's just been the stronger wrestler and taking advantage of being a little lower to the ground.
Well, he's definitely been in control the entire match.
So he tries to shoot again, but this time Louderbaugh able to avoid it. Louderbaugh will lock up, trying to gain some advantage, but Pletcher, you just see the quickness right there. And he will allow the escape. 22-9. Pletcher again trying to get the takedown before Louderbaugh can get out of the circle. He does. And that will do it. 24-9, it will be the final. Match ends early at 22.9 seconds. And it's Sean Pletcher, the champion at 132 pounds. We'll take a quick break. Glad that you're with us today. There's our camera. We'll have the next match in just a moment. Our next match, it'll be Carter Jones from Tri-Valley against Nick Rinaldi from Sheridan. Jones got here with a major decision, with a pin, and then won in overtime his last match. And that is going to be, they're still in the circle in terms of action. They did not go out, at least all the way. You got to get all the way out of there. And neither has control in terms of a takedown.
Now Rinaldi does.
Rinaldi.
Nice
Rinaldi
move.
got here with a pin and a 5-2 decision. We mentioned Carter Jones with a pin and then an overtime win.
Oh, Rinaldi was in
He was in a tough
danger
spot.
of pinning himself.
He was trying to work that pin from the back, and that can be dangerous when you're pulling to your own back. Again, Sheridan came into the finals with the team lead, Tri-Valley second, so these matches are critical for these squads. Whenever you got top two teams with their wrestlers out in the finals, this is the 138-pound weight class. You can see Jones just trying to get, if he can get himself free in that position, but easier said than done as Rinaldi again takes control on top. You know, that's what one of these sports coaches that you watch, you go, well, you should just be able to do this. You just don't realize the torque and the strength that's created in between the two wrestlers. And it will be Jones in the down position.
Well, it seems like every match we've had has been one tall, lanky wrestler and one not quite so tall.
Yeah. And we've seen the lanky guy win once and the shorter guy win a couple of times. So again, no points awarded yet, but there's some near fall being counted. And Jones finds himself in a tough spot, although able to raise up just a little bit. Strong core brings his shoulders up off. He's also grabbing hold, and that'll run out the first period. So 3 points awarded on the near fall to Rinaldi, and he takes the lead 5-0 in this championship match at 138. Kevin Round, the coach, with you today. I should call you Doug Clifford every once in a while just so people know.
Well, you know.
But that's not what we call you around here.
I thought Jones would take the down position, but he took the up position.
And he's giving himself
now
a good
we know
shot.
Why.
That's why.
That's why.
Rinaldi in a tough spot. Jones knew what he was doing.
Yes, he did.
And we're going to get 3 points awarded on the near fall. Rinaldi, that was almost disastrous. He tried to reverse and then found himself in a tough spot trying to escape now. Or now a chance to reverse if he can get control. Has not established that yet.
He's at least he's going to have a point for the escape, though.
There it is. And he'll make it 6-3, but he was an eyelash away from being pinned.
Yeah, he...
And in no position, wrestlers off the mat. They'll both start in the up position. 1:15 to go in this second period. So Rinaldi lives to fight another day. Both wrestlers, in fairness, have scored near fall points.
Whoa, we have an injury.
I don't know if he got poked in the eye. I believe he did. And the Tri-Valley fans are asking for points to be assessed, but referees don't look to be obliged to do that. Was inadvertent, but that just hurts. There's just no two ways about it. You get hit in the eye.
Well, we saw Quentin Stonsberry last night take a shot to his
in the
left
basketball
eye.
game they did, yeah. Now it takes a while to recover. Let's see if, and again, they will, I believe both, well, let's see. Should be both in the up position. Carter Jones looks like he's ready to go again. It was his left eye that appeared to get poked. Rinaldi tries to shoot. Jones pretty strong, but did not allow it to happen, and then trying to take control up top. Inside a minute of this second period, there's Rinaldi. He doesn't have control yet, and now he does.
Yeah. Nice move that time by Rinaldi.
So an 8-3 lead for Sheridan's Nick Rinaldi. 30 seconds to go in this second period. So he tries to turn him, and we're going to get a warning on the hold. And it'll be Jones in the down position. Trailing 8-3, 25 seconds to go, second period. 14 championship matches here today. This is the 138-pound weight class.
Oh, great leverage that time.
There's the reversal.
Jones, good job.
Jones cuts it to a 3-point lead and is in control. Rinaldi trying to get out of it, get the escape before time runs out. 6 seconds. But Jones hanging on. And that's where things will end. 8-5 Rinaldi after 2 periods.
Nice job by Jones to finish that period with a couple of points.
Yeah, there were
and not allowing Rinaldi to escape.
And you know, Coach, both of these guys have been in tough spots in this one and fought back. It's an argument not to give in at any point. You just never know. So Jones in the down position. Rinaldi trying to form the strategy to game over, but Jones, a lot of upper body strength. And now Rinaldi trying to turn him, and not enough there for near fall.
Jones using his length to advantage. I mean, keeps that wide base out. Oh, good hard crossface that time.
And a legal move.
By Rinaldi.
Rinaldi now is going to put him down. But that's where they started, so
That's
no
right.
points.
No points. Oh,
and
this is
there's
nice
Jones
move.
trying to. Does he get turned on him? Not yet. And Rinaldi able to keep his position. Is it an escape yet? It's close, but no.
Great job by Rinaldi not to let that turn into a complete reversal.
It was almost a reversal and then an escape, but neither thing happened, so it's still 8-5.
Nice job by Rinaldi not to let that happen.
Jones has got a lot of strength. Rinaldi, though, able to counter as Jones made his move. Down to 35 seconds, 3-point lead for Rinaldi. And he's going to keep hold, so he's still in position, in control.
I believe they're going to award a point here. Yes, they are.
There it is, the escape.
Now he's got to go. He's got less than 20 seconds to make a move.
So
Jones
Rinaldi's,
has to make a move.
they want to make sure he doesn't stall here. That's the thing. So Jones, and you can hear the fans getting into it. Jones needs a takedown here to tie it.
Rinaldi's making all the aggressive moves, though. It's going to end up.
And that's where it's going to be. What a match. Credit to both of these wrestlers.
Outstanding.
Nick Rinaldi will get the win, 8-6. Carter Jones, the runner-up this year, but a lot of respect between those two wrestlers and a great match. We'll keep it right here for the next match coming up. And that match will be in the 145-pound weight division. It'll be Carter Weingardner taking on Jordan Barnett. Weingardner from West Muskingum. He has the blue trim around his singlet. And Jordan Barnett, the Sheridan wrestler, the gray with red. And he'll also have the red ankle band. Have Don Mason back with us. Had a couple of exciting matches there, huh?
I love MVL Wrestling Championships probably more than any tournament I do in the course of the year, just because there's so much emotion, so much physicality, so much technique, and that's what you're seeing. That last match had so many sad moves I've never seen.
Well, and I'll tell you, it's fan support.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got a packed gym here.
And this is still a three-way race for first place. I couldn't tell you right now who's going to end up winning.
Just to let folks know, again, coming into these finals, Sheridan had the lead at 141. Tri-Valley was at 134, and New Lex at 133. So it's anybody's match coming in. Again, this is the 145. Carter Weingardner from West Muskingum, Jordan Barnett from Sheridan, and that'll go out of the circle. We'll start up in the middle. Still no points granted. Halfway through this first period. And Don, what changes for you as the weight classes, as the wrestlers get heavier? Does that change anything you do as a referee?
Yes, because the wrestling changes and the style of wrestling changes, in a sense you'll say the officiating changes. It's really our ability to interpret the moves that are coming. For example, the heavyweights wrestle completely different, who are 285s, than the 106-pounders, and maybe that's obvious, but therefore you have to understand there's gradients of difference on all the other weight classes in between.
And as a former wrestler, the holds are different too, right? I mean, you're probably approaching the match as a wrestler differently.
Yeah, I mean, when you're at this weight, it's with the middleweight, it's very physical because you have the physicality of weightlifting. These guys have probably do a lot of drilling, know a lot of moves.
And that'll end the first period. No score yet in this one.
And then, but when you're in the lighter weight, say 106, it's a lot of it is just very fast movement, very quick movement, versus the physicality. But then when you get into the upper weights, 220 heavyweight, a lot of times you see a lot of throws.
Yeah. Well, and these middleweights, these guys are fast and strong. It's that hybrid wrestler, if you will.
Well, maybe I'm guilty of having a preference because I wrestled 138 and 145.
So that's what you know. Yeah.
That's why I always felt that, boy, this level, it's you got a lot of experienced wrestlers. Carter from West Muskingum, of course, placed in in the States last year. I believe he was the first West Muskingum wrestler to do so. And we haven't mentioned West Ham. I think they're in 4th right now. Again, very, very respectable.
So we should have 2, I think, for the West Muskingum wrestler. I don't know if that's on the board yet. Oh, no, I'm sorry. They started that way. I'm sorry. Let me just.
Now, what you noticed from the Sheridan wrestler when he got away, he did hand control from underneath, pressed back against the West Muskingum wrestler, created separation or distance, and that's how he spun and got his escape. That bottom wrestler's got to get separation of his hips from the top wrestler.
So Bennett leads at 1-0. They did start down. Sometimes they go so long, I forget which wrestler was down and which was up.
Well, we keep disc in our back pocket to tell us how everything went, and that's
what I'm doing next time.
I'll give you one of my extra ones.
There you go. And again, just such strength in the middle of that. And I'll show you if we can get the camera to come to me real quick, to come to us. That's the disc that he was talking about that has green on one side, red on the other. Thanks, guys in the truck. They're the best here. So still 1-0. Barnett able to escape out of being in the down position at the beginning of this period. Since then, both wrestlers trying to get the takedown. And again, I'm sure these guys know each other a little bit. So
Now the distance that West Muskingum is shooting from is a bit far out. You really want to be almost head-to-head when you make your shot, and he's probably 18 inches out.
And again, both trying to make something happen, and then they'll go as the period ends. So just a 1-0 match with Sheridan's Jordan Barnett on top of Carter Weingardner going into our 3rd period. And there's something about that, and really, again, that translates to all sports. If you lose contact with somebody, it just makes it harder to know where to be in terms of, again, leverage or advantage.
Oh, yeah, and you know, in football and blocking, as an offensive lineman, you always want to maintain contact with that player across from you.
That was my problem. I should have had more contact. So, again, 1-0. Barnett on top has the 1-0 lead.
No. See, once again,
there's the escape, and so we are tied at 1. Weingardner shoots, tries to get control to get the takedown.
In scrambles like this, what you want to do is keep your head higher than your opponent, and that normally tells you who has the advantage. Now, this will probably be stalemated shortly if it looks like West Ham might be coming through. No.
Did he get it?
Nope,
not yet.
Not yet.
And it's amazing as, again, not an advantage yet, but there, nice spin. Does he get?
Nothing.
Not yet. And we got a stalemate, so no points awarded. That's a lot of action without points.
You know, and a young, inexperienced official would probably been throwing points left and right, but you've got an experienced official there who knew just to let things simmer. And
see, that's great.
Yeah.
So inside the final minute of this 3rd period, tied at 1. It could be a takedown. Will do it as the clock ticks down. Weingardner for West Muskingum, Barnett for Sheridan.
Now again, they're closer in contact here. Now this is too far out at this.
Yeah, he's done it again. Exactly what you talked about before, just shooting from way
Let's
out.
See if he sucks it up here.
You hear the crowd.
There's the takedown.
And there's the takedown in favor of West Muskingum's Weingardner.
He's only got 20 seconds.
Down to 15. He's got the 3-1 lead now. He's come back from 1 down, and he'll allow the escape. But now he's got to make sure he doesn't get taken down.
Yeah.
3 seconds. 2, 1. And that will do it. What a match. Carter Weingardner gets the win on points 3-2 against Jordan Barnett. But tell you what, that's a pretty even match right there.
Well, you know, I used to always tell kids when I was coaching them, if you don't do anything dumb in the 1st and 2nd period, you can win in the 3rd, and that's exactly what happened.
So we'll take a quick break. We will come back with the 152 match. There we are. We'll come back with the 152 match in just a moment. We move on to the 152-pound match. Brady Emerson from John Glenn, our first John Glenn wrestler that we've seen, and Andrew Canal from West Muskingum. Coach and I are with you today. I'm Kevin Rao. Don Mason joining us for the moment before he goes out and officiates another match here. Emerson, we know from the football squad. He came in via 2 pins. I'm sorry, had a bye, then a pin. Canal had a pin and another pin. So both of these guys, whoever they face today, they've put the other fellas back to the mat. Emerson, a little bit more, that coach was pointing out, that more stocky type. Canal, a little lankier. And Don, how careful do you have to be when you're kind of punching somebody's hand away or kind of poking at the other guy's head to get position, that doesn't run afoul of the rules?
Well, the big thing is you cannot put your hand into the eyes or nose of the other wrestler. And one of the problems you run into a lot of times as you're reaching, he's moving. And
so you may not be trying to do that, but that's what happens.
Now, if your hand hits his, say, elbow and then goes in an eye, it's not a penalty. But if your hand moves directly into his eye, it's a penalty. The big thing, let's talk about hands for a minute in the neutral position. The big thing, your hands are supposed to protect your legs from a takedown. So if guys get their hands too far out in front of them, the other wrestler just has to get under them, and he has full access to the legs. So it's a lot like boxing, how your gloves protect you from a punch. Right here, your hands are supposed to protect your legs.
So again, no points yet awarded. As you can tell, it is kind of like a boxing match. You're kind of a little bit to the head, then try to bob underneath.
The other thing, a lot of times, if you're reaching, you're putting your weight forward, and that's when it's easier to take you down.
Canal trying, but can't manage the takedown as both wrestlers go outside the circle. 10.1 seconds remain. First period. Again, we're in the 152-pound match of these MVL finals. Glad you've joined us today on WHIZ TV. We're always glad to bring you these finals, and that'll be the end of the first period. They'll flip the disc. It'll go in favor of green, and that's Canal. He will elect to, he deferred, I believe.
Yeah.
And it will be Emerson in the down position then as he gets to elect. And we begin the second period. And boy, there's such quickness out of that whistle, you know. And these guys have done some of their best wrestling just outside the circle. But both these guys pretty quick because you saw those first moves. And again, it'll be Emerson in the down position. Minute 53 to go as we've just had the first 7 seconds. And Emerson will try to get out, get the escape. Needs to get his leg free. And Canal ends up taking him back to the mat. And they will go outside the circle again. A minute 41 to go second period. Still no points in the match.
I just want you also know the fans and the wrestlers in the Muskingum Valley League truly appreciate the sponsors that are helping to bring this broadcast, as well as the entire Wiz broadcast team. This is one of the few leagues in the state that has been repeatedly broadcast by reputable TV stations.
Well, you know what? Well, first of all, I'm glad you called us reputable.
I'm including you.
Number one. No, I don't count. But, no, you know, we're glad to do it. These kids work so hard during the season, and other sports get a chance to, you know, kind of showcase their skills. It's great to show these kids. Coach and I were talking before, it's just so hard in the training for this. Of course, Don, you know that so well. You were such a success at Zanesville wrestling and now as an official, but gosh, the practices, it'd be good for somebody to come out and watch these guys practice. You'd be amazed at what they have to do to get in this kind of shape. But you know what's also funny about it? We kind of expect the wrestler to be a type, like a certain body type, but what you see is that's just not so.
That's exactly right. And I'm telling you right now, a lanky wrestler has an advantage with leverage. And leverage is really what wrestling's all about. And it gives him a little bit more range when he's trying to shoot in on an opponent.
It's just a matter of developing enough strength then for that lanky wrestler.
Now, I want to say right now, I think it looks like John Glenn was hit for stalling because the action is being carried by the West Muskingum wrestler, so that's why a point was awarded.
Okay, so there you have a point.
Yeah.
And we are tied at 1. And now we're going to have the takedown going in favor of Canal as they go right in front of us. That's the action coming into your living room right there.
Broadcast this on 3D, people will be jumping.
That's next year. You know, we'll work on that. 34.4 seconds in this second period. 3-1. Again, we've put cameras all around the mat. And just a momentary break.
And I'm not exaggerating. The Big Ten doesn't broadcast the championship with this many. You guys do a wonderful job.
Well, thanks. That's all the guys all the way around, let me tell you. We'll point them out before the broadcast is over today.
Knop's earning more points.
And there's some near fall points going to be awarded here for Canal. Already leading at 3-1 and got a little dangerous there, so they're going to stop the action. But it is 3 points on the near fall. Now he's going to ask what he did and gets the explanation. Good officiating here.
Again, both these officials are state tournament officials. The referee right now actually is the county commissioner in Harrison County. I've worked with him many years. The other referee you might recognize, Craig Clark, head football coach at the Maysville High School.
The Maysville High School. Canal in charge of the match at the moment now, 6-1, his lead. And he's on top as they'll go off the mat. Stops at 4.2 seconds. Don mentioned the lanky wrestler often has the advantage, and that's proven the case here with Canal. But, man, you got to be strong enough. and he is. Although there will be an escape awarded right at the end of the period to make it 6-2. Again, this is the 152-pound weight division. Brady Emerson from John Glenn, Andrew Knaut from West Muskingum. One more period to go, at least in regulation. 6-2 Knaut, the West Muskingum wrestler, leading it. And he will try to get the takedown, still action, and then we'll go outside the circle again. No points having been awarded.
For those watching, if any part of the foot on the line is considered inbounds.
So that's all you need is one of the wrestler's feet.
Well, 2 points, but the point is you can actually, it looks like you're out of bounds, but if you've got a foot on the line, he's got a foot on the line, the rest of your bodies can be out of bounds, you're in bounds.
Gotcha. Yeah, sometimes you'll see that. That's why there's got to be mats around the mats because it can still be going on. Yeah. 6-2, Canal with the lead. We approach the halfway point of this third period. Emerson needs to get a takedown to get himself back into it. Canal going to be careful, though.
But see, what you see here is West Muskingum is holding the center of the mat, and the other wrestler, again, just got hit for stalling. The other wrestlers stay in the periphery on the outside, and I'm sure the official has recognized that it's hard to be aggressive when you're standing near the out of bounds.
That's the second stalling point awarded to Canal in this match. He now leads at 7-2. Canal's not going to be in a hurry here either. He'll bring the action as he can. But with that 7-2 lead, the only bad thing that can happen now is the disaster scenario.
Well, but knowing that West Muskingum's in fourth and would like to be in third, it's possible if Canop can pick up a few more points of getting
it's true.
A little bump up bonus points, as they call them.
Yeah, sometimes you lose sight of the team points that you can get.
Yeah.
And then again, he might just be exhausted. You forget. These guys have wrestled at least a couple of times earlier in the day.
And part of it is just the emotional drain when you're wrestling.
Down to 15 seconds. Emerson needs to make something happen. Canal, though, able to keep enough control. There's those 2 points you were talking about right there, Don. Now they'll finally go off. But each had a foot, so only .2 to go. Don's going to get ready to go do that match, the next match. And it will be Canal getting the win for West Muskingum over Brady Emerson of John Glenn. We'll just stay right here for our next match.
Nice job by Canop.
Yeah, it looked like Emerson had some control early.
I thought Emerson was going to win that match. I didn't think there was any doubt. And you you look up and Knopp was ahead and a little further ahead, and then the match is over and he's a winner.
So Don Mason will go out. He's the official with the glasses on that you'll see in this match, which will be Lane Talbot from New Lexington and Wesley Pauley from Morgan. The first time we've had a Morgan wrestler out there in the championship matches. Again, New Lex in the third spot team-wise coming into the finals, but they've had some success in these finals. This is the 160-pound weight class. Morgan easy to figure out with that big M on his back. Again, great crowd here today. Been some really good matches, Coach.
Well, you know, very defensive matches. These guys are playing more defense than offense for the most part, it looks like. I mean, they're not shooting a lot. They're being very careful. I mean, they know they're up against the best opponent in their weight division in the conference. So they're playing it pretty safe.
Well, that's got to change your approach, right? As you get to these matches, because you know you make a bad move.
That's right.
You're
That's
on
right.
your back.
I mean, it's like every other sport. I mean, who makes the first mistake is usually the person who loses.
Exactly right.
Especially at this stage.
45 seconds. Yeah, that's Talbot for New Lexington. He got here with a couple of pins. Pauly, for his part, a pin and then a major
There's a nice
decision.
move.
There's a takedown for
Wow.
Talbot.
That was sweet.
You can see the coaches, this is when they get into it too, in either corner. Talbot clearly in control. Pauly trying to, and he'll get the escape.
Morgan has some history of having excellent wrestlers down there. I mean, they've had some good wrestling teams.
And it will be Morgan's call. Wesley Pauley with the call. He'll defer, and Talbot will take the down position. Talbot leads it 2-1. And right away, Pauley able to break down the left arm. And Talbot fights back, trying to get the escape.
Can't get that leg free.
And they'll go off the edge. And it will be still Talbot in the down position.
Nice job that time by Pauly to maintain control. Talbot was just right on the verge of an escape.
Again, we've seen a lot of different approaches coming out of the up-down positions. Pauly, the wrestler on top, trails it, and there'll be an escape, so Talbot adds to his lead, now up 3-1. Almost halfway through this second period. Both these wrestlers kind of the same body type. It's just been an interesting dichotomy here today with, again, between the more stout, kind of what we think of traditionally as the wrestler, and those lankier guys.
Nice try that time by Pauly to shoot in for the leg, but Talbot countered. Oh, nice move that time by Pauly.
And there's a takedown that'll tie the match at 3. It was just where that spinning was going to stop and who was going to be on top. Now we'll have the escape. It gives Talbot. And another 2 points.
Pauly relaxed.
Yeah, he looked up almost like he was looking up at the clock.
Well,
and so
Talbot made the escape and he relaxed, and then Talbot shot immediately. He saw that break and took it.
So Talbot to lead and on top with 35 seconds now to go in this second period. We're a long way from being over in this one, though.
Oh, yeah. An entire period to go after this last 20 seconds.
Man, you just don't know either if fatigue plays a part, maybe. You just got to hang in there as long as you can. And there's the escape. That'll add a point for Pauly, making it 6-4 now. Cuts the lead by a point. inside the last 5 seconds of this second period. And that will end it.
Oh,
So
that was a nearer takedown there, but
we'll go to period number 3. And it will be Wesley Pauly from Morgan in the down position. Nope, they're going to start up. And right away, Talbot tries to shoot. Pauly able to back out of it. 6-5. Talbot leading it from New Lex. Trying to get the takedown, though, is Pauly.
he's going to keep that ankle.
Nothing yet. And again, dangerous position there, so they'll start back up. The New Lexington wrestler with the 1-point lead.
Boy, you can almost see the love of the sport Don Mason has as the referee.
Oh, it's amazing. He's right on it. There you see him in your camera. Yeah, I'm going to tell on him a little bit because I'm a little younger than he is, but I had a chance to see him wrestling growing up, and he was the real deal, let me tell you. And it's a passion. He did it in college, and he's refereed ever since. His son is a referee now.
That's an apt description of wrestlers. It is definitely a passion.
So inside a minute to go in this third period. Talbot will add
nice
to his
takedown.
lead. And now on top by 3, 8-5. And let's see what. Yep, he's still added enough. So he tries to turn Pauly. Got to be careful, though. Again, you always worry about that flip. We've seen it happen a lot of times.
He's got a 3-point lead with 20 seconds to go in the match. He just can't make that big mistake at this point.
As he's going to switch holds to keep things going. And Pauly trying to reverse it.
Pauly's got the reversal.
It does. It makes it 8-7, and then the escape will make it 9-7. Pauly needs a takedown here. 3 seconds, 2. And that'll run out the clock, and it will be Talbot hanging on, but
nice
another
match.
Really fun match. Lane Talbot, the champion at 160 pounds. Wesley Pauly will be the runner-up. But again, great match. Let's take a quick time out. We'll be back with more wrestling right after this. McGee and McPhee.
McGee and McPhee.
So we've got, you might have heard us say that. It is Hayden McGee for Maysville, Andrew McPhee for West Muskingum, the Maysville wrestler in the all-white singlet.
Boy, look at the style, the different styles here. These guys are really active. I mean, they're just swiping at each other. This is going to be a hotly contested match.
170 pounds. McGee from Maysville got here with 2 pins. McPhee from West Muskingum.
Oh, he had that ankle and he just didn't let it go.
Yep, also 2 pins. So 2-1 in the early going. And McGee of Maysville trying to turn him over. And now it's trying to separate the hands so he can make a move.
Yep, he can't quite get that crossface.
This is our alphabetical order match between McPhee, just 1 spot ahead of McGee. So McGee with the lead. The wrestler in white with the lead. Halfway through the first period, 170-pound match. 14 championship matches here today at West Muskingum. And there's another 2 points for McGee. And now 1 point on the escape for McPhee.
I thought McPhee had that leg. I didn't think he let McGee get around for the reversal or for the takedown, but apparently he did.
Yep, caught it pretty early. And another 2 points on
Oh, look out. He's got the half.
McGee.
Get the half sunk in there pretty deep.
Trying to turn him, but McPhee able to change it, and there's a big grab around the chest. And reversal just like that. I think McGee, a good move, but then kind of ran out of steam for a second. And McPhee took advantage to get the match to within a couple. So a lot of points in this first period. It's Hayden McGee, the lead from Maysville by 2, 6-4 over Andrew McPhee from West Muskingum.
McGee looks, he finished that period looking winded.
Yeah, he kind of, all of a sudden there, he had the distinct advantage.
Yeah.
So McPhee will start in the down position, trailing by 2. 170 pounds. Both of these guys had 2 previous matches. Both ended in pins in their favor. So McGee started in the up position, leading by 2. Not much has changed in the first 30 seconds of this second period. Now we're going. Boy, sometimes it just looks so awkward.
Oh.
You know, like you can't bend that way.
He could have popped his head out from under that arm. He would have had an escape. He's just about there now. Oh, nice counter that time
by McGee.
By McGee.
Tries to hop up out of there. McGee, though, continues to control. This started with McGee in the up position at the beginning of the period, and we're just inside a minute to go, second period, and we're going to do that all over again. McGee, the Maysville wrestler, in the white with the 2-point lead. That quickness right off the whistle, spinning around, and we'll get the escape, and the match tightens. McPhee to within a point now.
McPhee's pressing the action here.
And there's 2 points as McGee gets 2 right back and now leads it by 3. And we're close to a reversal. We're going to get no call. Did not happen in the circle. So McPhee in the down position. Nope. He's going to say, let's start up. And that will give a point. And there's the takedown. McGee trying to get a short near fall points being counted. Let's see if any will be awarded. With 2 points. And that'll make it 12-6. McGee, boy, I tell you, a little flurry there at the end, coach, to get an advantage.
You bet. We both thought McGee was looking a little winded there into the first period. Nice comeback here in period 2. 6-point lead, 2 minutes to go.
So 12-6, McGee leading McPhee. We want to make sure we get that right. And 2 points to McGee. Boy, we've seen that a lot. As these guys get a little bigger, they'll try to push up out of there.
Yep.
And close to a reversal again.
Oh, that's definitely a reversal.
Makes it 14-8. McGee down, but with a 6-point lead. Minute 15 to go, third period. They'll try to get up and out, but McPhee holds on.
That's about all McGee has to do.
And it's going to get stopped. And the dangerous hold. So it'll be a point in favor of McGee. And McGee will start down. He now leads it by 7, 15-8. Try to reverse it coming out, but McPhee stays up in control. Grabs the hand, spins.
This time it's going to go through.
That was picture perfect. 2 points on the reversal for McGee. He's now up by 9 with 43 seconds. And McGee had a couple of moments where he just looks like he'd run out of gas, but then all of a sudden he's right back at it.
I thought he was going to try to flip. McPhee he had the half Nelson in, but these guys, you know, when you're in the championship round, you don't see a lot of pins.
17-8, McGee leads it. Clock ticks down to the final 15 seconds in this one. And it will be an escape. So one of those points back, but needs a lot. Needs to get a pin at this point. 3, 2, 1, and that will do it. It'll be Hayden McGee, the champion in the 170-pound weight division. Andrew McPhee will be the runner-up for West Muskingum. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back with more action right after this.
Hard-earned victory.
We go to the 182-pound weight class. It'll be Eric Stillion of John Glenn taking on Chance King of Sheridan. John Glenn in the maroon singlet. Sheridan we recognize by now. They've had a bunch of guys in the finals with that gray singlet and red trim. We're going to get a point awarded. Don back with us. Tell us why that happened.
Well, I couldn't quite tell, but I think John Glenn had his hands in the face of the Sheridan wrestler, which is a penalty point.
So Chance King up 1-0 in this one. Again, it's Eric Stillion from John Glenn. Chance King, great name, from Sheridan. This is the 182-pound weight division, and it'll go off the board, and we'll get Tim Cox, our cameraman on the far side, involved in that one.
Tim just about had the takedown.
Yeah.
There's a 2.
There's 2 more, so a 3-0 lead. And you know, we were talking down there, the style of wrestling, but in the last match that you refereed, we saw a lot of athletic ability, a lot of physicality.
That's exactly true. Now,
here we go.
These 2 wrestlers are also very athletic, and as you can see, King's got him in a near fall. His long, lanky body, I tell you, when a guy like that gets on top of you, you're not going to roll him.
You see both officials on their knees to call it. It's close.
Boy, he's keeping the
And there it
pressure on.
is.
Great job.
So that's the first time we've had a pin in the first period. And the champion will be Chance King over Eric Stillion of John Glenn. And that'll bring us our next match right away as we have moved on to the 195-pound weight class. Blake Dayton of Philo taking on another great name, Titan Blair of New Lexington. Philo, of course, in the blue and yellow. Titan Blair, New Lexington in the orange and black. Dayton got here with a couple of pins. Blair a pin and then a 12-6 decision. And again, we are getting to our final 3 matches of the day. And a takedown recorded, Blake Dayton. But again, you can see that progression, Don, as these guys get a little bigger.
Yeah, again, I mean, a lot of muscle involved, physicality as we call it, but good action. These guys are quick. They probably play football. Who knows? Even play baseball. Good athletes.
Titan Blair, the escape to get it to 2-1. As Dayton started out with the takedown, they grabbed the lead. Blair, though, now trying to get the takedown, but Dayton staying even on the bottom. And there we have the takedown by Dayton, so things turned around quickly there, Don.
Again, in wrestling, you try to keep it close. In the third period, you hope your conditioning will pull through. 4-1 match, this can go anyway, a 5-point move.
Yeah, so it's Dayton controlling from Philo. Trying to work his way out of it is Blair as we get to the 22nd mark of this first period. Right at the edge of the circle, as we learned earlier, as long as we got 2 points of Contact inside that circle. And they are right at the edge. Blair trying to find a way to escape if he can. But clock ticking down, and that'll be the end of the first period with Dayton from Philo on top of Titan Blair New Lexington 4-1. And have things gone today the way you thought? I mean, from an officiating standpoint, any unexpected things happened for you guys out there today?
Well, we're really happy that no one's been complaining about the wrestling officiating.
That doesn't happen every single match like that?
And I got to tell you, again, you have good officials working here today, and the calls are solid. And I think that makes the coaches comfortable. That allows them to keep their head, and they can focus on just coaching their kids. So, again, good, hard wrestling. I don't know that there's been that many upsets. These guys have gone against each other throughout the course of the year. But, again, you've got good two physical wrestlers out here. This is a tight match, 4-1. New Lex could reverse throw, Philo on his back, and be in the lead. That's how close a 4-1 match is.
Their near fall being counted, but then he worked his way up as Blair able to get up out of it. Well, not all the way out of it, Coach.
No, he's got that. He cannot get away.
And that's, it looks like not much is happening there, but that is exhausting.
Right now, all their muscles are at work. That's what people don't realize. All their muscles, hips, thighs. Again, the coaches are going to tell the top wrestler, be on your nose, be on your feet, so he's not down on his knees. There's no resting.
And don't you, in that position, you want to try to stay on your toes as much as possible.
Yeah, your goal is to actually press your weight into the weight of the down wrestler. That way, the down wrestler to get up has to push against you and against your feet, which are pushing against the mat. That is exhausting.
And you can see it takes its toll. To the casual viewer, and again, looks like not much is happening, but there's just so much force from both wrestlers. And again, it's Blake Dayton in the lead, 4-1. We approach the 22nd mark of this second period.
I don't think I knew what exhaustion was until I wrestled 6 minutes.
That is absolutely true.
And I wrestled badly, but it was still 6 minutes.
Well, my introduction, and Don will remember this, it was at Roosevelt Junior High School. And it was all I wanted for not a lot of payback, I got to tell you. So we get down to the second period. What are these coaches telling these guys?
Well, again, I think what he's probably going to be telling the wrestler is choice of position right now. Philo's taking the down position, which is interesting because he's been dominating on top. But I think he feels he can pick up an escape point, maybe a reversal point here.
Let's see if he can do that. Dayton elected to go in the down position. As he tries to work his way.
Hand control.
And you can grab the hands as much as you want.
You can grab the hands. You can actually grab the fingers. You just can't peel the fingers backwards.
So Dayton got the escape to make it a 5-1 lead and tries to get another takedown here to put himself firmly in the lead. And there it is. So to make it 7-1.
Well, Don was right. He controlled the entire match from the top position.
But I don't know, maybe
Blair
he just wanted to show he can escape as well.
Well, Blair hasn't been able to get away at all. Hasn't been able to move. Oh, look out.
Now,
look out.
Dayton, and that's it, just like that. And you see that happen where he just wore him down.
Well, that's it. The Philo wrestler was able to physically wear down the New Lex wrestler, and like we were talking about, so when the New Lex wrestler was put on his back, he just didn't have the strength to roll it.
So we're going to say goodbye to Don. As he goes back out to officiate. We're lucky to have him for a little bit today, Coach.
Well, I tell you what, it
made us sound smart.
It is a pleasure to have a guy like that in the booth. He knows the sport. He loves the sport. He's still involved in it. It's exactly what every sport needs, guys like him.
We go to the 220-pound weight division, the penultimate match. Owen Loffman from Sheridan, Gabe Howard from Maysville. We saw Loffman introduced to the crowd last night at the Sheridan basketball game as one of the seniors.
Yes, we did.
He actually blew some kisses to the crowd.
He was waving.
He kind of had a personal relationship with the crowd last night.
He had that red carpet Hollywood, greeting style.
He knew what he was doing. He made it to this spot with a couple of pins. Gabe Howard a pin, and then his last match, a 3-2 win over Cole Gilligan from New Lex. And again, a distinct height advantage for Owen Loffman here.
He's a big guy.
And Neither has yet to dent the board. Hoffman trying to get some position around the top. Ooh.
Oh.
Boy, then they bumped heads too.
Yep.
And they go toward the outer edges, but now back toward it, and Lockman puts himself in a good position. He gets the takedown, and it was very close to being a pin. Now as Howard tries to reverse his way. Maysville kind of tricking us a little bit today. They've been wearing both their black and white singlets. But we're on to it. We're wise to it now. So 2-1.
Can't trick us for more than 2 or 3 days at a time.
Until we talk to each other and look at the film. Loffman, the 2-1 lead. Inside 30 seconds to go in this first period.
Look at the pressure he's putting on.
Yeah,
wow.
That's some strength in the upper body right there. 4-1 lead.
Oh,
trying
nice
to arch
bridge.
his way out
Oh,
of it.
look out. Oh, I thought that was it.
And that is it. Well, that's how you blow kisses the crowd
You
when
bet.
you're at home right there. Nice job by Owen Loffman to get the pin, his third straight of the day, and the championship in the 220-pound weight class. And he survives a little bump to the head earlier in the match. So Coach is doing double duty today. He's actually taking pictures as well. Telling you what, you're multimedia here today.
Well, I'll tell you, it's I'm having a great time. I mean, I probably should be talking more than I am watching, but it's so much fun to watch this match and all these matches. I mean, it really takes me back to a time when I counted a lot of light bulbs on the ceiling in
yeah, no, exactly.
at Portsmouth High School.
I know exactly how you feel. So we go to the heavyweights, the 285-pounders. Logan Morris of Sheridan, Jacob Danielson and New Lex. And both of these teams in competition for the team win. This could be one of the deciding factors right here. Morris from Sheridan got here with a pin and a 2-1 win in double overtime. So he's got to be tired.
You couldn't ask for a better match right here.
Danielson, a pin in his first match and then a major decision, 12-2 in his second match.
Two big-time school rivals and two great big guys.
They are big guys indeed. Not only are they heavyweights, but they're tall. So again, waiting for the first point. And in these matches, you see a lot of 1-0 heavyweight.
Oh, you bet.
And it could be the guy who escapes, you know, in the final period. Well, we've had a lot of fun bringing it to you today. Thanks to our WHIZ TV crew today.
Double duty for the guys this weekend.
Yeah, that's right. Basketball last night, wrestling today. Great job done all the way around. Again, looking for our first point of this match. Logan Morris from Sheridan, Jacob Danielson from New Lex. Trying to.
Oh.
And
oh, there's going to be a 2.
2 points for Danielson, and it looked like it might have gone the other way just moments ago. And, well, I tell you, they're just, once they get momentum going away, they're going to go that way.
Man.
Some big fellas.
I'm glad the table is where it's at.
I'm getting ready to run. I got 1 foot around the chair here ready to sprint. Well, sprint, relative term.
Yeah, yeah.
And I had a dream last night where I sprinted,
yeah,
I think.
I think I had an experience with one time.
2-0, Danielson on top, and he's got the lead. Morris trying to find his way out from the down position. And these guys, again, you just feel the force. We are right beside the mat. And there's just, again, I use the word torque for lack of a better one. Two to nothing, Danielson on top, and he will start on top with 3.6 to go in this first period.
That 2 points looks really good, doesn't it?
Well, that's huge. Wants to make sure he doesn't allow the escape, and he does not, and that's the way the first period will end. 2-0. We'll have a chance to tell you. We appreciate our director, Matt, today, getting everything done back there. Isaac working on graphics. Jeremiah out here keeping track of the clock and the scoring. Tom and Tim and John, our cameramen. What a great job done by the team today. We start the second period. Logan Morris of Sheridan down 2-0, starts on top. I also thank Don Mason, who sat in with us for some matches today. He's out there officiating, and the referee with the glasses on. We're going to get almost an escape. You might think that's a takedown, but that's the way they started, with Logan Morris on top. So really nothing has changed in terms of scoring. We approach the halfway point of the second period and of the match.
Good strong base by Danielson. Morris can't get him off that tripod base.
Danielson
Nice
being
job.
pretty patient, waiting for that
He is.
advantage. And keep in mind, Morris, and we mentioned the last match, won it 2-1 in double overtime. So he's gotten a little extra for his money today, for his entry fee. Morris on top, down 2-0, and Danielson trying to get the escape. That is some serious strength being exhibited right there. And again, trying to get the escape,
Oh, he's
and
gonna get
does. And adds to his lead, 3-0 now. Morris will look for the takedown, get himself back in it. Final 30 seconds of this second period. Our final match of the day here at West Muskingum. I want to thank everybody here at West Muskingum High School. This is not an easy thing to host. There's a lot of moving parts to wrestling matches generally and championships especially.
It's an all-day affair.
And they'll go off the edge with 9 seconds to go second. No further scoring in that. In that final action before going off the mat, 3-0. Danielson on top. And that will end the second period. We'll have 2 more minutes at least to go in this one. 3-0. Jacob Danielson not leading Logan Morris.
Well, this is Morris' chance to score. He's on the bottom. He's got to move out of here. He's got to get away. He's get an escape or a reversal. Danielson is keeping him right there. Oh, it looks good.
And there it is. There's the escape.
Just run away from it. Good job.
So 3-1.
Great job by Morris that time.
Morris cuts the lead to 2. We'll keep an eye on that clock. And this is our final match. The heavy guys, 285. Final of our 14 matches. We're glad to have brought them to you today. .30 seconds in. Again, if you got 2 points, that is 2 feet. Can be one of each wrestler in there. That does not count as being out.
Look out.
And there's a takedown. And they will push off the mat. And it'll make it, should make it 5-1. We're getting some fans are complaining just. And
Well,
that was a takedown. They were I was going to see if they were going to protest it. There was some complaint about whether Danielson was in control, but the referees didn't hesitate.
No, they didn't.
So 5-2, Danielson's lead is 3 once again.
Logan!
49.9 seconds. And they will go off the mat with 41.8.
Logan Morris has to make a move here.
Morris
He's down 3.
He's got to make something happen. Danielson just going to try to avoid what I've called the disaster move. That's my term. And just raw strength there, but another takedown for Danielson. And barring a pin the other way, down to 16 seconds and a 7-2 lead for the New Lexington Panther. But there's a reversal. 11 seconds makes it 7-4. You get a near fall here, perhaps. Got to go, though. Make it happen. 2 seconds, 1 second, and that will do it. Danielson hangs on. Morris tried to take it to him. And there's some sportsmanship as he helps him up. Our final match of the day. Jacob Danielson wins the 285-pound weight class, and that will do it for us.
Great match. Great match.
We're going to have, here, let's all scrunch together. We'll get in this camera shot here as we bring it back to us. In fact, tell you what, let's take a quick break, and then we will come back and wrap things up here at West Muskingum High School. The MVL Championships, all 14 matches in the books. We'll be back after this. Welcome back to West Muskingum High School. I'm Kevin Rao. That's the coach, Doug Clifford. That's Don Mason, who helped us out today. I tell you, fellas, it was a lot of fun today, Coach. You know what we expected.
Oh, no doubt about it. And, you know, even all the way to the last match, I mean, you didn't know how it was going to go either way. Those big guys trying to throw each other, it could have been either way, but Danielson did a great job, and it was just a great match to finish a great day.
And Don, from your perspective, you talked about it last year, you mentioned it this year. This MVL, they do wrestling right.
You know, the MVL is a great wrestling conference. The schools come in, and I'll tell you right now, you saw great sportsmanship throughout the championships, which is remarkable because these kids have seen each other each for probably 10 years, 2 or 3 times this year. They play a multitude of sports against them. Maybe they go to the same vocational school. So every opportunity for it to be heated was there, but it wasn't. It was good sportsmanship was shown all day.
Well, that will wrap it up for us. We had a great time, 14 great matches. We'll be back next year, so look for us. On behalf of my usual broadcast partner, the coach, Doug Clifford, and my friend and helper and great partner here today for this match, Don Mason, I'm Kevin Rao. Good afternoon, everyone.